All right. So today I want to talk about Elijah's depression, and I think it's very relevant because I feel that a lot of people in the world right now are in some type of mental state. they feel depressed, and they feel a lot of gloom, and because they understand that the world is in a fallen state. Even people that don't believe in God and don't know Him, they see what's happening. You have to be almost blind not to see what's going on. So, and that can lead to depression. And I want to talk about how even warriors in the Bible, Elijah, he was a warrior, he was a prophet, he was a righteous man, he walked with God, so much that he didn't even die. God just took him from earth. He never even died. That's how righteous and how much Elijah walked with God. But he became depressed. And so we're going to talk about that because a few weeks ago I did a video about how Elijah challenged the God of Baal, to see whose God could make fire rain down and consume the sacrifices. And the God of Baal, which is just Satan, he couldn't do it. And Elijah mocked him, and then he killed the prophets of Baal, which weren't really prophets. They were just people that were called prophets. And Elijah took them down, and he slaughtered all of them, right? And so now Ahab goes and tells Jezebel, his wife, who was one of the most wicked women in the Bible. She was known for her wickedness, and she was a prostitute. She was just a murderer, So Ahab went and told his wife Jezebel what was going on, and she sent a messenger to Elijah talking about how she was going to, basically kill him. And so now Elijah is on the run, and we're about to read about that. All right, so this is 1 Kings chapter 19, and it says, Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and now he had killed all the prophets with the sword. And it says, then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, so may the gods do to me and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by this time tomorrow. Basically talking about I believe she's talking about one of the prophets that were killed. And it says, then he was afraid, and he arose and ran for his life. And this is a warrior. This is a prophet of God who God allowed to use power through Elijah. Elijah literally called fire down from heaven to kill 50 of his enemies, right? So Elijah has experienced the power of God. He knows God, right? And it says, then he was afraid. Elijah, he was afraid. And he arose and ran for his life and came to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servant there, okay? And it says, but he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a broom tree. And he asked that he may die, saying, it is enough now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am no better than my fathers. Okay? Then it continues, it says, he lay down and slept under a broom tree, and behold, an angel. So, when we get depressed, we like to sleep forever. That's what happens when you get depressed. I'm pretty sure everybody's been depressed before. You sleep a lot, you don't shower, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to talk to nobody. And so let's continue to read what happened. And it says, he lay down and slept under a broom tree, and behold, an angel touched him and said to him, arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, there was at his head a cake baked on hot stones and a jar of water. And he ate and drank and lay down again. So an angel brought him food, right? He told him to eat and drink. And he ate and drank and then lay down again. He went back to sleep. All right. And the angel of the Lord came again a second time and touched him and said, arise and eat, for the journey is too great for you. And he arose and ate and drank and went in the strength of that food 40 days and 40 nights to Horeb, the mountain of God. So, and this is Elijah, and a lot of people don't know why he don't understand how he got so depressed when being such a strong warrior of God. But it happens. You know, some scholars assume that it was because he expected Jezebel and they had to change or whatever, and maybe it's because they didn't change. But regardless of the fact he fell into a depression, he asked God to take his life. And we know a lot of, especially men today, there's a lot of men that are suicidal. Because men are expected. There's so much expected from a man, and sometimes men, we don't really talk to anybody when we feel certain ways. I know I'm like that. I don't tell nobody how I feel. I deal with it. I give it to the Lord. That's my therapist. I won't go and tell no another grown man or grown woman my problems. I'll give it to God and just sit on it, because that's just how I'm used to dealing with things. But I just wanted to talk about depression because I won't say it's normal. You're gonna feel depression. You might feel depression sometime, but in the state of the world right now, it's important not to be depressed. It's important to latch on to God right now. And we might not have angels coming down to us, right? And giving us food to encourage us, but we do have the Holy Spirit. And that's what I tried to explain in the last video about the Holy Spirit. You need the Holy Spirit. You need to be close to God because He'll lift you back up. He'll be the one. The Holy Spirit will be the one to lift you back up and get you back right. You might feel a certain way for a little while. Maybe you might be grieving. You might be going through whatever. But the Holy Spirit will lift you back up and stay in prayer. This is a time in the state of the world when Christians need to stand out and be bold. All the things that's going on, we need to be shouting that we are Christians, that we do stand for Christ and those type of things, because that sets us apart. To be holy is to be set apart. We're to be set apart from the worldly people. People need to know that we're different from the world, and how we need to be telling people what God's doing for us. That makes me feel better when I can get on the video and explain stories about the Bible and God and things like that. That makes my spirit feel better. It really does. Like, I like telling people about the Lord. It feels good to me. Alright, so that was just a small message about Elijah's depression. Everybody goes through it sometimes, but that's when you keep God the closest, when you're depressed, and I promise He'll see you out of it.